Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Welcome to Ask Halal Consultant. This is a program to address some issues on halal matters and halal certification in Singapore. So in this segment, we are going to address some issues on food items that Muslims need to be mindful of. Okay, so today we have Mr. Muhammad here again from Suci Halal Consultants. Mr. here?
Yeah.
Okay, we have received some questions from members of the public. If the soy sauce in Japanese food, can they be easily consumed, or should Muslim be very careful of soy sauce?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. In the halal world, you'll find whether in Singapore or overseas, especially when you go overseas. But in general, let's come back to Singapore first. There are so many foods that we can find in the local halal market. We are exposed to various types, from the west to the far east, Japan. The question was actually about Japanese food.
Cuisine,
Japanese cuisine, yeah. We have to be mindful. I think the key is about mindfulness. It has not been easy for Japanese eateries, Japanese food eateries, to go for halal certification. There have been some, but they have to ensure that, example, the soy sauce does not contain alcohol. Some of the food items, the fish, they actually soak it in soy sauce or vinegar or whatever that contain alcohol. So that's one major issue. So that's why you want to go for any Japanese food, again, look out for the halal certification certificate, halal logo by MUIS or whatever. So that's basically for Japanese.
So why is there a concern for soy sauce? I mean, we have halal soy sauce, but if Muslims are not
kicap, in the Malay community they call it kicap, soy sauce.
Soy sauce, kicap. Light soy sauce, the dark sauce.
There's a range of soy sauce. I think previously there's not much concern about soy sauce, just whack. But with the flooding in of soy sauce from all over the world, you will find we are exposed to many. There's so many. So in general, we have to be mindful. Soy sauce may contain alcohol.
May contain alcohol.
So we have to be mindful. So that's why, for consumers, the best way to do it is to look for soy sauce with halal logo. The halal logo may not necessarily be from Singapore alone. It could be from
other countries
too. So just check.
As long as it's halal certified.
Halal certified.
And there's halal
please,
logo.
when you find, for consumers out there, when you go and find soy sauce, do not just look out for the generic halal logo. Look for at least some organization. It could be from US, it could be from Japan, it could be from Korea. It has to be from some kind of organization.
Certifying
body, the foreign halal certifying body. So not just a generic halal logo, to be safe.
Alright. Okay. Right. Next, we have another query that asks about instant fried tofu. This is from a Chinese shops, or Chinese cuisine. So we often see from Chinese shops that sells pre-cooked frozen tofu.
In general, for Chinese cuisine, Chinese cuisine, some of the crispiness. We've got friends from the Chinese community who actually shared with us. In order for them to attain certain quality of their cuisine, pork is
to
actually
maintain crispiness.
Crispiness and among other things, even the taste. For certain taste, you have to use lard. But over time, those Chinese cuisine with halal certification, they have found alternative to lard, alternative to whatever kind of oil containing pig, pork, swine, babi, kan. So that's why, if you want to consume Chinese cuisine, again, our advice to you is,
especially tofu,
tofu and the range. So it's important for you to go for those with halal certification.
Alright.
But again, as I mentioned previously, there are some really Chinese Muslims, that they prepare their food the halal way. So you just need to ask. So there have been now quite a number. The are all born Muslims, not even converts or whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes you are not sure, so just ask.
Yeah.
But be rest assured, inshallah, for those Muslim owned we have come across,
Yeah.
they are mindful too. They don't
Yeah.
use animal derivative or
Yeah.
pork based products to produce their food.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got to be very careful. Yeah. I
Yes.
think especially those fried tofu that is packed without any label.
Correct. Yeah.
Without any not knowing from where it comes from.
So even when you buy those
pasar,
the pre-cooked and then they got it frozen,
Yeah.
find at supermarket or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's still the best thing to do is
Yeah.
to look for the halal logo.
So the food becomes shubha or becomes questionable, especially when it doesn't have any proper labeling.
Yeah.
And what more if there's no halal logo from any certifying bodies?
Sometimes the food labels do show presence of porcine, presence of swine. Porcine tu babi lah, sama, same.
Okay.
Pork derivative. But that's not the only thing.
Yeah.
There are times when the food label also include other kinds.
ingredients.
Sometimes natural preservatives, for example, natural flavoring.
Yeah.
Very interesting as far as natural flavoring itself.
Yeah.
Even vegans avoid. Vegans in the vegetarian world, there are some segments of them, they actually did research and they found natural flavoring, for example, in the US or even in the Europe contains animal derivatives. So they are pretty upset.
Okay.
Being vegetarian, they want to consume food.
Everything which is
Vegetarian. No animal derivative, nothing.
vegetable-based,
But what they found is
plant-based.
natural preservatives, natural flavoring contain animal derivatives. So
yeah.
if vegans can go to the extent to do research to make sure that they actually entirely consume only vegetarian food.
Yep.
So likewise for Muslims. So you have to be careful. So
Be
that's
very
why
careful.
the best way to do is to
Always
go for
look
the
for halal logo.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Now we have another question on cheese fondue. Cheese fondue. Okay, it is a Swiss dish which makes a use of white wine or alcohol.
So again, another example.
So normally, when we go to some of the cafes, some of the Western restaurants that actually serve this chocolate fondue.
Whoa.
Oh, lovely, yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. So we must be very careful if the chocolate is actually halal.
Yeah. So again, the basic question is, how do you know? Of course, we have gotten responses from even Muslims. We found those responses on this kind of cake, this kind of food or whatsoever.
Yeah.
They say, why make life difficult? And these are Muslims. And where did we find them? We actually found them, those comments, in the halal cafe and restaurants in Singapore Facebook group. So some of them, Islam itu mudah. Islam is simple. Correct. It is simple.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's also some precepts that when you see food, just whack unless you have reason to believe. But in today's world, given this kind of program,
because of the complexity of
one is complexity, one is availability of information.
Availability.
Yes. The world has become complex, but it is actually supplemented, balanced by information. So the complexity, yes, is complex, but there are information. So it is this kind of platform we are telling the consumers out there, yes, Islam is simple, but with that simplicity, that does not mean we just langgar, sondol, whack only, without checking. We are commanded to look for halal food.
Yeah.
So given this kind of platform and information available, so we just share with you lah. So at the end of the day, as to whether you want to eat or not, and if you think, okay, don't ask so much question, just eat.
Just whack.
Just whack. So it's entirely up to you. But for those Muslims who are more discerning, we share this information. Yeah.
Muslims who are discerning, and we have to be more careful.
They want to be more careful.
Yeah,
This
be
is
more careful.
Individuals' preferences.
Right. Yeah. So these are things that we need to be mindful of.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question that we have down here. It's about spirit vinegar. Spirit vinegar may be present in some of the sauces. Yeah. We may not be aware of it. But sometimes if you look at the ingredients of some of the sauces, there's this spirit vinegar. So what about this spirit vinegar that Muslims need to be mindful of? Can we consume or can we not consume?
In general, in the Islamic world, spirit vinegar is something that we have to avoid.
Is derived from
Okay, when you talk about the process of derivative of spirit vinegar, we talk about vinegar itself. We have one segment where we talk about vinegar per se, but in general, I want to go into the complexities. If they are derived from intoxicants, so in general, it is
From
not allowable.
alcohol,
Yeah, from alcohol in general. Okay, and we know. Okay, this is actually when you talk about alcohol, there's also this issue of istihala. So that's why I don't want to include in this discussion at this point in time. Okay, because we have actually planned to have one segment just to talk about vinegar, the process of istihala. But for this purpose, okay, in general, when you see spirit vinegar,
be careful.
Be careful, correct.
Yeah,
be careful.
it might not be from a halal source.
Correct. Okay. And for those of you who are thinking of going for halal certification in Singapore, spirit vinegar is something which we as halal consultants, we do look out for, and we advise our clients where possible avoid at all costs, because this is something which MUIS will also
may not be accepted.
Correct.
As
so this is
halal
something which
ingredient.
So for consumers out there, consumers meaning you could be retail consumers, or you could be wholesale consumers, or you could even be operators, chef, whatsoever. Spirit vinegar is something which you need to be mindful of. At this point in time, that's the way I want to respond. We are going to dedicate one segment just to cover this in the future.
So we have another question, Mr. Here. Okay, some types of sweets like jello, jelly, you know. I think our children, teenagers, they like to buy this jelly from
just
to munch,
jelly stuff, you know, whatever brand doesn't matter. Those
right. So I think what is of concern.
The major concern is this: all over the world, much of those chewables,
they contain
they of various flavoring. Some of you may know, but some may not. They may come from swine.
Animal derivative?
Pork. Generally, mainly in the world today is from pig bone. Pig bone. Okay. Pig bone. So, yes, they look innocent, harmless, but be mindful. Again, as far as pig is concerned, we have planned for a segment just to show how that animal has been used in so many sectors of the economy, including the production of this jelly stuff.
Okay.
But I must also emphasize there are some halal jellies. So basically, what we are looking at is gelatin.
Gelatin,
gelatin could be animal based. It could be plant based. Animal based, the most popular animal based is from pig lah.
Right. Okay.
So got to be mindful, got to be careful. That's all.
So maybe people would ask if the gelatin can come from halal sources.
That's the thing. And halal sources means it must be plant based, even if it's plant based.
Either plant based or
from animals slaughtered the Islamic way.
Islamic rites.
Yes, those are the source. But the process of coming up with a gelatin and even the eventual product. So we have to be mindful too. Okay, these are all not privy to the general consumer. We do not know. We're not going to go to the factory. How you produce? No lah. So that's why we would encourage all consumers out there. The best thing to do.
The easiest way to do is just to look for halal logo.
Correct.
Just look for halal logo, which is certified by a certifying body. It could be MUIS, it could be Infanka, which is from Europe. It could be Jakim from Malaysia. It could be MUI from Indonesia. It could be IDCP from Philippines. Wow. It can be a CICOT, CICOT, from Thailand.
From China even.
Shandong, from So we have a lot of certifying bodies.
I want to clarify this. A lot of Muslims say Islam is simple. So in fact, indeed, the halal certification, whole world, makes it simple. It is in line with the slogan, Islam is simple. So the halal certification makes it simple.
Makes it simple for the consumers.
Correct.
To make the decision to actually purchase or not purchase, consume or not consume. Right? Okay, Mr. Heb, we have another question here. So I think in relation to the Jiang-O, we also have this marshmallows, which I think of the same categories.
Roughly,
same, same level. So the other one would be cake mix. Wow, cake mix. Mothers, and bakers out there, I'm sure most of the ingredients that you use are basically halal certified. So make sure the ingredients before you purchase. Cake mixes make use of pork fat.
Yeah, lard lah.
Lard.
Okay, this is what our non-Muslim friends in the industry have been sharing with us. Actually, lard sedap. Nice. Okay, lard makes the food taste nicer.
Macam tahu je sedap.
No, they say lah, not me lah. Not me. Okay, they say it's nice. Of course, we have found the alternative to lard. So we have to be mindful lah. Whatever. Even ghee, you have to be very careful because they are also non-halal ghee.
Ghee is another
so
question.
when you buy cakes whatsoever, so that's why we know a chain of cake shop. Previously they were halal, now they are not halal whatsoever. What's the reason? We don't really know, and we don't really, we don't have to be so uptight why they don't renew the halal set. But the issue is this: eventually some find that in terms of the taste, they really want to go for that kind of taste, and only lard can give that kind of taste.
Wow. Okay.
We have also found some of our clients, they have a certain specific ingredient from overseas that will only give that kind of taste.
That kind of flavor.
That kind of flavor. They tried all cannot give. So they work hard to just find solely halal certified, or at least have complied with halal requirements in order for them to still get that kind of taste.
Right. Okay. Another question. It's about another type of food that Muslims need to be mindful of. Potato chips. It seems very simple, and it's potatoes, and potato chips. Why can't we just simply consume out from the shelves?
Okay.
So why must potato chips have to go through the halal certification process?
Potato chips, biscuit. Recently, in our neighboring country, the customs just has a large haul. There was an illegal importation of lemak babi.
Fats,
lard lah basically, lemak babi.
Lard,
and those are targeted for biscuit production. Okay, declared for biscuit. So even biscuits.
For biscuits production.
Potato chips again. Potato chips may or may not use lard, but they contain ingredients from enzymes, and these enzymes come from animals. And these animals may or may not be pig. They may be some others. But the issue is, we do not know whether they are halal certified, because those animals may not be slaughtered the Islamic way.
So actually, if you just go to your your nearest supermarket, you can actually see, if you actually do check, some potato chips with halal logo, some potato chips without any halal logo, right? So you have to check before you purchase, before making your purchases, and before consuming. All right. Another last one would be red sweets, red or strawberry flavored sweets are often dyed with food coloring called carmine.
Okay.
Carmine,
this is not
carmine. It's made from dead crushed up beetles. Oh my God. Okay. All right. So beetles in the first place, can we eat? Can we consume? Muslims.
We have a segment where we talk about the details of halal. In the halal world, in general, carmine. In the halal world, not just Singapore, colouring from that dead beetle, is not halal.
Not halal, from dead beetles, not halal.
Yes, they crush. Okay, so the colouring is not only in sweets, but can be found in so many other types of colouring.
Right.
My own counterpart, in the halal world, he operates here in Singapore and also in South Asia. We have been discussing, so sometimes when you eat mee goreng, the red colouring.
Red colouring. Not red or yellow colouring. Red colouring.
Red colouring.
Or orangey colouring.
You'll find that
your partner from this dimension.
I have my own counterpart. We have been discussing for the past several years about the use of colouring in preparation of mee goreng, for example. No, sometimes mee goreng you find red colour.
Red colour.
Or maybe even
orange
other kinds
colour,
of colouring or whatever. You'll find, if you're not careful, the colouring may come from this kind of sources.
Right.
So that's why when such restaurants go for halal certification, then we will get them, or they will actually get to find alternatives from those non-halal. Not only that, but again, colouring itself contains enzyme, all those things. So we have to be very mindful. They could come from animal sources which are not halal for consumption in the first place, not permissible.
Yeah, so meaning that colorings itself is very important.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think as Muslims we must also, again, one of the reasons as explained by Mr. here just now, okay, very important for you to actually look for the halal logo on the bottles of the colorings. Yeah, so it can comes from any other countries, as long as certifying bodies from other countries. Yeah. Okay.
So some of these things. So watch out for our other episodes. This is just a general treatment. So we have gotten questions, so we just address them now.
Right.
But eventually we are going to have individual segments where we go in depth into coloring, into pork and lard, no pork no lard, ghee. Into why wine, the vinegar. So we are going to have dedicated segments covering those particular topics.
Okay, that's great. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Okay, this has been Ask Halal Consultant. If you have any question, do drop us a note. Thank you.